Okay, the last bit before moving on to something different is the cosine law. Now, this is the big formula. I don't know why the textbook's got it so spread out like this. Um, the cosine law works in the one case where the sine law there isn't enough information. We can use this cosine law and it will answer that one type of question that the sine law can't. There are aspects of it that some people find a little bit difficult just because the formula looks a little bit crazy. This part of it here, I just want to push next and see how much, yeah. This part of it here is just our Pythagorean theorem. C squared equals A squared plus B squared, or some people see it A squared plus B squared equals C squared. The one thing to note, we talked about side angle combinations. C and C, this is one side angle combination. That is the only side angle combination in the cosine law. Okay, so those two, the A's and B's, it doesn't matter which one we call A and B, but those two are the most important ones. Now down here the formula is written a little bit different with A's because we could do it with another side. This is if we were going to find the angle. These two are the only side angle combinations. Oops, I'm kind of in the way there. Let me see if I can move myself. There we go. So that angle beside the cos and that side are the only side angle combinations that we need there. Now I'm just writing down that second formula because I don't ever really use it. You can get by and just use the top formula and rearrange, but I think we're allowed to use this one. So I'm going to get that one with me so I can use it. Okay, let's try a question. I'll show you how this one works. So this one is right out of our textbook. Okay, we'll cover that up. Now, in this, a hitchhiker walked due north. So the hitchhiker started right here, it looks like. Here was the start. Walked north 4.9 kilometers, directly north. Then she walked further 5.8 kilometers on a bearing of 110. How far from the campsite is she now? So we want this distance here. Okay, we do know a little bit extra. We know this angle in here. What do we know about a straight line? A straight line is 180 degrees. So this in here is 70 degrees because 70 plus 110 is 180. That would be that straight line. So we know that that's that. Now, here is our one side angle combination. So we can find that side. If it was any other angle, we could use some sine law and figure out some angles and stuff like that. But because it's this one and this missing side, we can. This is the case where we can use cosine law. So if I write it out using our cosine law, I'm going to write out what we had here. C squared equaled A squared plus B squared minus, 2AB cos C. So remember, these two are the special ones. That's got to be our side angle combination. So the side that we're looking for is x. We sub it in there, x squared. The a squared and b squared don't matter too much. I can put the 4.9 first or the 5.8 first, just like in Pythagorean theorem. It doesn't matter too much, so I'm going to put it in the order that they're written there. 4.9 squared plus 5.8 squared minus 2. When they're written side by side like this, it means multiply, so I'm going to sub them in brackets. 4.9, 5.8 cos, and we figured out that that was 70 degrees, cos 70. Okay, x squared equals, okay, this looks crazy. We got this huge long thing, but I'm going to open up my calculator again. It's not quite as bad as it looks. So, we can type this whole thing in on pretty much on one line. It's going to take us an extra line to figure it out, but a lot of calculators have a squared button, and if you don't, this button here would be your exponent button. So 5 squared should be 25. Same with 5 squared is 25. So I'm going to use my squared button. So we've got 4.9 squared plus 5.8 squared minus 2. I don't know what my dog's flipping out about. Probably the mailman's here. My dog loves the mailman. 5.8. So I'm just typing it in exactly how it looks there. We could push times or just type cos. What was it? 70. I'm going to close that bracket. Okay, we've done almost everything here. I'm going to hit enter. We've got 38.20, which seems too high. I'm going to write that down and I'll show you why it's too high. 38.20. 38.21. Now, the reason why this is too high, if we look at the question, 4.9 going up, 5.8 going this way, and pictures aren't always drawn to scale, so maybe it would be correct, but 38.21 is pretty huge. So there's one thing that we forgot to do. If we look at our variable, it is x squared. We want x all by itself. When we did Pythagorean theorem, we said the way that I can get rid of this squared here is by square rooting both sides. Square root and squared are the opposite of each other. So if I square root this 38.21, hopefully it's going to give me something that makes a little bit more sense. And it should, because square root makes it smaller. So let's see. I believe, do I have square root? There it is. Square root of 38.21 is 6.18, which makes way more sense. 6.18. We'd write our therefore statement. Therefore, and again I'm cheating because it's hard for me to write on this little bamboo pad or whatever it's called. 6.18 kilometers away from her campsite, or her starting point. Yeah, her starting point's her campsite. So there we go. There is our find the side question. Remember, trig, only two types of questions. Find the side, find the angle. There's a find the side. Okay, maybe we'll do a find the angle in class, just because I don't have one set up here. I guess those are the homework questions that we'll work on.